your next corporate outing with Indy 11. Hospitality areas and discounted group tickets are available for each game in the 2023 season. Visit Indy11.com or contact your Indy 11 ticket representative today to find out how you can take your game experience to the next level. Stay up to date with the latest news from around the league and access exclusive content by liking the USL League on Facebook. Indy 11 fans, Indy 11 shop has new W League items each game. You can pick these up in the first stand located on the East Mezzanine.
For a third time this month of June, it is time for Indy 11 Women's Soccer here on the ISC Sports Network and 11 Sports. And for the first of two times over the span of 15 days, it is St. Charles FC that makes the trip east on I-70 to take on the Indy 11 tonight. Tonight's matchup presented in part by Community Health Sports Medicine, exceptional care simply delivered, and by Alpha Health and Wellness, official team chiropractor for the Indy 11 W League. My name is Greg Rakestraw, and we are thrilled to be joined by a state championship winning coach. Her name is Bob Cheswitt, not to mention a fantastic player in her own right, Angela Berry White, who joins us. This was going to happen a couple of weeks ago. Had her son EJ, but not such a good baseball player from Marmalade, the University of Indianapolis. Coach, it is great to have you here. Obviously, you know so many of these players. You coached Aaliyah Martin at Rebuff, who has been a stalwart for the Indy 11 in the last couple of weeks. Just your thoughts on the level of soccer that you get to see this evening.
Well, Greg, it's a pleasure to be here tonight and to watch some fantastic soccer. You know what? When I look at this game, I see Indy 11 and where they started last year. They're coming out strong, being a very, very strong, like I said, team in the league. And they built on that. They brought in some fresh players, some more veteran players, meaning that some other girls that have come in from around the country. We have as far as Australia via VCU. We have Pepperdine out in California. The organization has done a great job bringing in some more players and ones that are, a little bit more veteran. You mentioned Aaliyah Martin. She's a graduate of University of Michigan. She spent some time in the NWSL, came back home, and is working here. So it's great that they've added a player like her, Cassidy Lindley as well. She's in her second year. And then you look up top and you see some of these other players that are now in their second year as well, like Butler players, Katie Soderstrom, Abby Isker, University of Louisville player, Chester. So it's just great to see that these players have a place to play. And Indy 11's doing a great job in providing that. As these two teams are ready to take the field, let's get to our keys. The game brought to us by your Central Indiana Honda dealers. Central Indiana, proud to be Honda's home turf too. We start with momentum. Indy 11 5-0-1 again atop the Valley Division. Simply want to see Paul Dolinsky's team keep it going. Oh, exactly. Let's have them start off a little bit faster than the last game where it took them 60 minutes to get the ball in the back of the net. So looking forward to having them start this game just a little bit faster. Press. Exactly, and that's what they need to do. They have to make sure that they apply that pressure early, and it'll remove the options for the attack for St. Charles FC if they do that. Dominate the flanks, attack from the outside. Exactly. They've been doing some great work and getting the ball outside and driving that ball back across the 18 and having players fill the box to score. So looking forward to that. We'll get you our starting lineups. We come back from our first time out. National Anthem about to hit here inside of Grand Park's Indoor Event Center. Back in a moment on the ISC Sports Network.
For over a century, Indiana has been the destination for sports innovation. and the state where champions are crowned. Now, we're entering a new era with Sports Tech HQ, a place that inspires innovation and invests in entrepreneurs who are changing the game, one startup at a time. Welcome to the crossroads of sports and technology. Sports Tech HQ, home of the game changers.
It's very true that it takes a village to raise a child. And when it comes to my healthcare village at Community Health Network, it's all nestled right in my phone. Accessing healthcare is the ability to be connected with your provider and ask a question when you need it. I feel like when I'm meeting with a community nurse practitioner or doctor, they're tuned in to what is going on with me and the way that they can serve me best.
Stand by me. And the winner of the Indianapolis 500.
Indiana, winning is in our DNA. And we're winning the future with $22 billion in new business investment, building an economy of the future with unprecedented momentum. Indiana, for the winners.
At Masters Heating and Cooling, we dedicate ourselves to serving our community with professional service and groundbreaking home comfort solutions, keeping each and every customer comfortable in their homes all year round, which is why we offer financing options, perks, and coupons to each of our customers. Like our apples to apples price match guarantee. We'll meet or beat any heating and cooling system replacement offer. So what are you waiting for? Pick up the phone or visit our website to learn more about Masters Heating and Cooling's money-saving offers and other unique special promotions.
Let's get right to our starting lineups. They are brought to us by your Central Indiana Honda dealers. Central Indiana is proud to be Honda's home turf too. Starting 11 for Paul Dolinsky, head coach of the Indy 11. 3 forwards in the attack, adding Chester from Delta High School, University of Louisville. Katie Soderstrom, not wearing her normal number. They're going to wear the red unis will the Indy 11 Knights. She'll wear number 21. And her strike mate from Butler and Abby Isger, who had a great fall for Rob and Terry, the co-coaches at Butler. Abby had 8 goals and 4 assists. Emily Edwards, she and Anna Reeves basically have split time in goal this year. Emily gets the start. Sarah Kyle will be the backup. Now for the visitors from St. Charles FC. Their record, 0 wins, 4 losses, 2 draws. It was 8-0 when Indy played at St. Charles back on May 10th. Frankly, we expect Indy to be the favorite in this one. It's likely to be a little closer than we saw about a month ago. Again, some of the players of note. How about up top, Amanda Davis and Olivia Baca. St. Charles as a team has scored 3 times all year. Those 2 each have a goal. They're both high school kids. One is going to play at Houston in a year. Baca will be a teammate of Ella Rogers at Xavier this coming fall.
Well, youth is the movement, and especially with this St. Charles FC team. So we'll see if they'll be able to make some adjustments, which I'm sure that they will, knowing that their first time out against our ladies in blue, but red tonight. You know, they were on the wrong side of that 8-0 victory. So we'll look forward to seeing how they've made some tactical changes.
Good look at Katie Soderstrom, again back for her second summer with the Indy 11. She just wrapped up a fantastic 5-year career playing at Butler University. She's hoping to use this to propel herself to playing over in Europe during the course of the fall. Again, St. Charles FC in the black Puma kits. Indy 11 wearing the red checkers tonight. We thank you for joining us for Indy 11 Women's Soccer on the ISC Sports Network as well as 11 Sports. This match about 20 minutes delayed from when it was scheduled to start because of some travel issues for St. Charles FC making their way from the north side of St. Louis. You talked about press early in this match, Angela. Where will we see that almost off the jump, so to speak, for Indy?
Well, yes, they had started to press early, and then they, you know, just kind of stayed back just to see what they would do in the back. And as you can see, they could not work it out of the back, so they sent the long ball up. And you got to love it when you send a long ball because it's pretty predictable. You know where it's going to be in the air. You can follow it.
This is the first of 2 foul whistle against St. Charles. First of 2 in 4 days for the Indy 11. And again, in this league, because of the compressed period of time you have to play matches, that's not atypical for either side. Indy, in fact, will play 3 in the next 8 days. And they'll have 8 days off with their regular season finale back here against this same St. Charles FC team on Friday, June 30th. We'll have that one for you as well. Same bat time, same bat channel on ISC and 11 Sports. It's kind of again, this is how high the bar is set for the Indy 11. The 2-0 victory against Lexington SC, kind of a nondescript performance, I think, from Paul Dolinsky's team, but that was on the heels of a massive road win last Tuesday, winning at Racing Louisville's Academy side 2-0.
Exactly, and it was a quick turnaround for our ladies, so, therefore, to come out and get a win, that was the most important thing, and sometimes it doesn't matter how you get there as long as you get the win.
One thing that Paul has done, he has built a tremendous amount of depth on this team to where they are prepared for those, again, quick turnarounds, playing twice in the span of 4 days.
Yes, it's been a plus for our team, and so it's nice to see that you do have the players on the bench and those that haven't had an opportunity to dress, they're dressing tonight, or they're getting some of these ladies that they haven't been starting very much, so hopefully we'll see some out of the new starters.
Here's Ella Rogers again, back for her second season with Indy. From Ohio, plays at Xavier. And Rafferty Kugler played that ball forward. Rafferty, her first year with the Indy 11. She finished her college career at the University of Kentucky a fall ago. This is Adams. And Adams from Houston, Texas. Or from Texas, I should say. She has one more year of high school left to go. She's going to play at the University of Houston in a year. She is 17. Her strike partner in Baca wearing number 20 tonight. She's going to play at Xavier this coming fall.
Great job there by our midfielders coming back once the defenders won the ball. And now looking just to play it out of the back, which is, if we could play at the feet and get a little bit of rhythm going, I think we'll, start to get a little bit more attack going here.
We've talked about depth and different pieces for the Indy 11. The midfield has largely remained unchanged for Coach Dolinsky on the year. Here's Kugler from her right back position, trying to play it across. There was not a touch there from the defender. So a goal kick coming here for Addie Miller of St. Charles FC, and she'll start from the back quickly. To finish that thought, Krasula, Rogers, and Hirschfeld really have been in the lineup most every match, and it's been kind of some of the defensive and forward pieces and goalkeepers that have seemingly changed on a semi-regular basis.
Well, they have that continuity in the midfield, and they're starting, it's only 6 games in, but they're familiarizing themselves with having to play and how well they can play.
This is game number 7 for the Indy 11 women. They've got 3 more left to go. And the regular season will end on June 30th. It's playoff time. Indy, of course, qualified for the playoffs last year by winning their division. Here's Rogers. Rogers looking to play it forward. Isger kept herself onside. Soderstrom heads for the back post. A little too much on that. Ball will stay in play. Hirschfeld will track it down.
It's a great combination there, 1-2, getting the ball out to the flank. And like you said, just a little too much on there. Take a little bit off that. We did have somebody at the back post, and it could have been a possible finish on there.
First real threatening moment, and then an unintentionally threatening moment as Hirschfeld hip-checked the St. Charles FC player. That was closest to it. No whistle given on that one. It was an 8-0 win when these two teams played the season opener. Chester plays it across, and it'll be a corner coming for the Indy 11 here in minute number 5.
Once again, getting in line and knowing that as she picked her head up, she did have options. It was just that St. Charles FC ended up finding a good defensive play there.
Quick restart for the Indy 11. Watson gives it a hit, blast it. Short hop and it's spilled. It'll be another corner coming for the Indy 11. Of course, this match is brought to us by our friends at Community Health Network. Exceptional care, simply delivered.
And how about that turn? Quick turn. She got her head up, looked near post. It was on, but the goalkeeper was there. It was a great shot. And look, we now have another corner kick, so hopefully we'll get something off this.
Watson sends it in. Bending ball that Rogers got to, but couldn't do anything with it. Goal kick coming for St. Charles FC. Watson just finished her college days playing at Pepperdine. She is from Point Loma, California, in the San Diego area. And that is an area that Paul Dolinsky knows very well. So there has, in just 2 years of Indy 11 women's soccer, already been a California pipeline to come here to play in Indy. Here's Miller. Played at Division III Greenville this past year. Helped lead her team to the SLIAC, that is the St. Louis Intercollegiate Athletic Conference Championship in the NCAA Division III tournament, playing for the Panthers of Greenville. Krasula to Hirschfeld. Hirschfeld, part of that Clemson connection, joining teammate and Hamilton County native Cassidy Lindley, who is not in the 18 in tonight's game.
Excellent switch to see that pass.
Watson, great diagonal ball, but offside flag went up. Hirschfeld deemed to be in an offside position. Hirschfeld immediately looks back and says, thank you, appreciated the ball from the back line. So entering minute number 8. Really kind of one threatening moment, maybe two so far for the Indy 11. Good job to steer that ball wide of Edwards. Not to accidentally play one in on frame. Again, it's a team in St. Charles FC that has scored in just 2 matches so far. A 3-1 loss to Kings Hammer in their second match of the year, and a 6-2 loss to Lexington. They played a pair of 0-0 draws of St. Charles. Again, the worst result, the first one, against the Indy 11. But they've been much more competitive since that time.
Well, they have been, and I'm sure that they've made some adjustments coming into this game. And, I think they did score. It was the first 15 minutes when, we were on the road that first game. So, I'm sure that they're trying to make sure that they're not going to expose themselves and concede that goal too early.
Lizzie Sexton plays it right back to Hirschfeld. I hoped the teammate would make a corresponding run. They did not. And a chance for Miller to catch her breath along the back line. Vast majority of these players for St. Charles FC are players from the St. Louis area and or play for St. Louis area schools. There are so many small colleges in the greater St. Louis area at the Division II, Division III, and NAIA level. Handful of players that play at the Division I level on this team as well. Schools like Missouri State, Arkansas State represented amongst those. For this Indy 11 team, it's almost players that play exclusively at the Division I level. And as my partner mentioned, a handful of players that have professional experience. An overlapping run here. Rutherford. Adams. Trying to set up a hit from distance, couldn't clear it, and now Rogers with the read. Now the break is on for Indy. It's 2v3. It is Soderstrom, sprung right side. Sizing up the angle to her right, cuts back to her left and plays it behind Rogers. Hirschfeld hustling. We'll get there in time to maintain possession.
Yeah, great hustle. It was a great run there, but it just played behind her.
Ball sent in, but again, quickly swept away. Another throw-in coming for the Indy 11. And for those of you watching from the St. Louis area, this is the indoor home for the Indianapolis Colts during preseason training camp. This is the always training home for the Indy 11. In fact, the men's and women's teams have their offices here at Grand Park, north of Indianapolis. This is even the home for the Indianapolis Alley Cats of the Ultimate Disc League as well. This match brought to us by our friends at Fluid Waste Services, Indiana's premier utility service provider since 1989. Mackenzie White will play it back to the back line. Jamie Toysh, one of the center backs tonight for St. Charles. She plays at Missouri Baptist at the NAIA level. The possession, as it has been, and probably we expect to be throughout the course of the match, going to be short-lived, likely for St. Charles.
Well, exactly. And, when Indy 11, when we ended up losing the ball, we get back, we're nice and compact. We force them to make a turnover, and then we're not going to go back and turn the ball over again. We're going to take our time and find out which is the best option.
Watson again, good read. She's been great in terms of switching sides of the attack for the Indy 11. All the way back to Edwards. Edwards, the youngest member of the Indy 11 in action tonight.
All the way from North Carolina.
Going to play at the University of Pittsburgh. Good looking run here. Kugler gets there in time from her right back spot.
What a great overlapping run.
And just again, hip checks her defender. Has her bounce off of her. Kugler hit with a run. Leaves it, but blasted wide right. That was Soderstrom. Soderstrom's got 3 this year, had double-digit goals last summer for the Indy 11.
Exactly. It was a great shot by her, but right behind her, sitting there, was Krasula. She could have laid it off. Here's a nice patience. She sends it in, maybe a little miss-hit. Yeah, she tried to, try and go near post, but sitting in right behind her, she did have somebody, but that's a true goal scorer. The ball comes in the box, you want to put it away.
Soderstrom played at Carmel High School for Frank Dixon. Katie, second in Butler history in assist. Has one left for the mistake, but Miller recovered as the keeper. And talking with Katie last summer, it was, hey, I'm not sure if I'm going to follow my education degree at Butler, if I'm going to chase the soccer dream for a little bit. Well, in talking with her a few weeks ago, it's I'm going to chase the soccer dream for a little bit.
Yeah, she's playing well. She's getting an opportunity, and hopefully something, will pan out for her. And as long as she keeps working hard, she just might have that opportunity to go pro.
Great tackle by Hirschfeld. Did get the ball first. Throw in coming. Here for St. Charles FC.
Yeah, as you mentioned, great tackle. She was an all-ACC at Clemson, and she has some games under her belt.
4 years at Clemson, Hirschfeld started every match but one. If you do that in that league, at any of those schools, that should catch your attention.
Exactly.
Good looking ball sent in there. Headed away by the Indy 11. Isger now sizing up what her plan of attack should be.
It's a great run there by Chatterton. Ball was sent just a little bit late on that instance, but you know what? She's getting open. They're going to find her on one of these occasions.
The ball is kind of played out to the side. Defender wasn't back in position yet for St. Charles, and a throw in coming for the Indy 11. Here's Kugler. Kugler played at Kentucky last year, transferred from the perennial champs of the Horizon League in Milwaukee. She followed her head coach to go play at Lexington for one final year. She was second for the Wildcats in minutes a season ago. Isger gets it back. There's too much traffic inside of the 18 to do anything with it. Good read by Watson. Soderstrom.
Once again, great turn.
Tries to leave it to Chester. That'll be a foul against Soderstrom.
Yes, and once again, it was a great turn. She looked and just happened to be just not slow. It's just the defender got there and got a little foot on it and was able to deflect the ball.
Julie Steiger was the player that was fouled for St. Charles FC. And a pair of 2-0 wins last couple of times out for the Indy 11. Because they won at Racing Louisville, they're a little less concerned with goal differential. They know if they continue to win, they will be the division champs and reach the postseason for a second consecutive year. Indy has scored 17 so far this year. They've allowed 1 goal here against Racing Louisville back on June 2nd. Watson scampers forward to track it down. Rogers the target, but Watson winning everything right now for Indy.
Yeah, she's reading the ball quite well, and what a ball. Diagonal across, first time, here we go.
Miller got there, and Isger kind of broke off her run. Soderstrom couldn't angle there. Right idea for the Indy 11.
Great idea. It was nice to see her maybe, get a little curve to that as she sent it in. It was more of a diagonal ball, and the goalkeeper was able to come out and read that.
That was Libby Sexton. She plays at the University of Louisville. This cardinal red she is used to that the Indy 11 are wearing tonight.
Quite a few players are used to it.
Correct. She, Addie Chester, Maisie Whitson, we'll see off the bench, has completed her career at U of L. We've not seen Carson Cherry yet this year because she is recovering from injury, but she was one of Indy's top players last year before she graduated from Central Catholic High School up in Lafayette. Hopefully we'll see her at some point in time soon. Soderstrom the target. Taylor Imming did a good job of getting in the way. She's wearing the captain's armband tonight for St. Charles.
And the way they were playing, we're able to get our outside backs forward. You have Sexton that's come up quite a few times, as well as Kugler. And here we go, going back to Sexton. Hopefully get something going, to attack those flanks.
Ball nicked forward. Hirschfeld cuts it back. Chester waits for a teammate, but the offside flag went up.
A little aggressive on that run. She could have held it maybe a step or two. I don't even, they are playing a flat back, four as we see it. I'm trying to see where they are in terms of their balance, and they're not really providing that defensively. So for us to be overlapping like this, we're bound to get one.
Yeah, Lizzie Sexton was a player that was a little good at that time for the Indy 11. She is from the Cincinnati area. One of the many University of Louisville Cardinals that have made their way north. Up by 65 to play for the Indy 11 this summer. Today's match presented in part by our friends at Alpha Health and Wellness. They are the official Indy 11 W League team chiropractor. Alongside Angela Berry-White, Greg Rakestraw with you. Thanks to our entire ISC Sports Network crew. Thanks to Aaron Van Wolde, Jordan Shue, Daryl Tibbs, Rob Lynch, and everybody involved with bringing you these broadcasts this month of June, and hopefully many in the month of July as well. If there are home playoff matches, we'll be here for those too on the ISC Sports Network on 11 Sports. Multiple ways in which you can follow this Indy 11 women's team. Krasula, Hirschfeld, Barr. Now knocked forward. And again, Chester deemed to be offside.
Yes, they are. And what they're doing defensively, they know how fast our forwards are. And so they have been playing a little tighter, and they will step just before the ball is played. And so, yes, unless we're stepping with them, we are going to be offsides. And, we're now at 3 offsides. And so I'm sure they're going to address that at halftime and where they need to be and be aware on the field.
Hirschfeld got in the way of that one. Another good crowd on hand here in the Indoor Event Center. And a reminder, there are 2 more home matches on the docket. Father's Day afternoon. Dad would love to spend time with you watching Indy 11 women's soccer, by the way. Great place to bring him. Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock.
Great idea.
St. Charles will be back here. Kings hammer the opponent. And it's coming up on Sunday afternoon. A team that Indy took until the 85th minute to get a decisive goal to beat them a few weeks ago in 1-0 fashion. Kings hammer, a team that has always played Indy tough. They were the first match in the history of the W League for those 2 teams last year on May 6th. Foul called against Sexton of the Indy 11. So restart coming here. A chance to at least move some players forward here for St. Charles. Toish will send it in. Barr the read. And Indy will try to spring the counter. They've been dictating the tempo. Soderstrom is well onside. Hirschfeld points by and says, put it here. Soderstrom may go of her own accord. Cuts it back. Good diving effort. Miller got in the way of Chester.
Yeah, the goalkeeper did an excellent job of reading that. She needed to just pull the ball back just a few yards, out of the reach of the goalkeeper there.
This match is brought to us by our friends at Community Health Sports Medicine. Exceptional care, simply delivered. And a bit of a casual turnover there by St. Charles FC.
Yeah, our pressure, in the back, they're making sure that they don't have enough time to do much with the ball.
Chester couldn't make the turn.
No, the ball was played to her front foot there where the defender was. She needed to play it just a little bit behind her, away from that pressure of the defender. she could have turned and she had a one-on-one to goal.
Baca providing pressure for St. Charles. Isger had an open pocket of space, but ball quickly taken away by the visitors from suburban St. Louis. Rogers, though, with the read. Xavier played in a pair of NCAA postseason matches this year. Ella scored in both of them. Ella also knew she'd been offside if she had gone after that
exactly.
one.
So she stopped, but would have been nice to have seen that switch. Once again, we're seeing the outside backs start to make those runs because they're on, and they have been on for the last 21 minutes. So, you know, if they could just connect and get that, they'll have numbers forward, you know, on the switch.
Rutherford play it back for a bit of a spell of possession here. Rutherford plays at Missouri State, and they were the Missouri Valley champions a year ago. St. Charles content to kind of stand on it for a minute. And frankly, because of the amount of defense they've been playing, I don't blame them for doing this.
Right, and you know, we were actually taking a rest there ourselves and just trying to force them into areas of the field that we could have intercepted the ball. Now here, didn't get that opportunity, but our now numbers are getting behind the ball to get that turnover.
Back to Miller. Soderstrom applies a bit of pressure. Isger closes down Rutherford. I think that last touch by St. Charles, so a throw in coming. Turnover forced.
Well, there's a press, you know, apply that pressure, look for a long ball, and that will cause a turnover.
Watson will go all the way back to the top of the 18, where Edwards has largely been a spectator at this point tonight. She and Donna Reason have kind of alternated the goalkeeper position. Last year that was largely Mackenzie Wood's net, former Notre Dame and Northwestern goalkeeper. And of course, Penn High School as well. Not that I have to remind Angela about where she, Christina Lynch, Molly McLaughlin all played their high school soccer.
Exactly. Great program up north, Penn High School.
Rogers looks to cut it back. Now Kugler, see if she has a hit from long distance. Well, she does. I'm not sure that was designed to be a shot on goal or a play for a teammate. Landed on somewhere in between. Another goal kick coming for St. Charles.
Yeah, it was a good effort. You'd like to see her maybe take another 5 yards. She had a little bit more, you know, space to attack, to maybe get a little bit more on that.
Hirschfeld couldn't control it. Here's Adams playing a little further back to try to track down some possession. Again, she's a high school kid, and you can tell how talented she is. Dangerous ball here. Rogers carved out some space, but couldn't maintain position. This is Emming. Emming gives it a go from distance. And again, frankly, those opportunities can be few and far between for St. Charles. You don't blame them for having a hit from 25, 30 yards out.
Exactly. You never know what can happen as long as you put the ball on frame, but wasn't enough on there, and Edwards did a good job collecting it, and now we're back in possession.
As long as this stays 0-0, the visitors will continue to kind of grow in confidence in this match, even if they're not going to get a whole lot of looks.
Exactly. You know, we came in here with momentum. Not to say that we've lost any, but like you said, we're giving them a little bit more confidence by, you know, holding us at bay and not getting any goals, you know, because we've been able to score on them before quite early in the contest.
It took to the second half for the Indy 11 to break through in the victory against Lexington on Friday night. I want to take the time to thank Ian Gilmore for filling in for me. Ian back to his normal role of procuring video and social media content for Indy 11 social media, website, app, etc., but did a great job sitting in for me. Thanks to Brad Hodder, my partner for 11 men's soccer for the last decade, for pinch hitting for Coach the first couple of matches of the season. Good read by Barr.
Yeah, she did a great job stepping up there.
Barr, the most veteran of Indy 11 players playing in tonight's match, being a handful of years removed from her college soccer days. And Sexton, that's the second time we've just kind of seen a St. Charles player literally bounce off an Indy 11 player. And it kind of shows you the age experience, too, that Indy largely has in this matchup.
Exactly, and you know, she plays Sexton playing at University of Louisville, and she's used to that type of contact, and a veteran player how to put your body between the ball and the defender and to make sure that you still maintain possession even as the ball's going out of bounds for that throw-in.
Sexton and Chester both on the younger end of the players that are here from the University of Louisville. Good look by Kugler. And Watson will be content to roll this back to her keeper. I want to thank our friends at Fluid Waste Services for their support of Indy 11 Soccer, Indiana's premier utility service provider since 1989. Hirschfeld.
She's off to the races there.
Flying,
great early ball.
Plays it across. Soderstrom should have been the first goal of the match, and Katie's had a couple I think she'd like to have back.
Exactly. Would have been nice there. What a great first time ball in. She looks up, she sends it, nice curling ball back inside. All the thing she needed to do was redirect it. She kind of got her body back, she leaned back, and next thing you know, I think it was a field goal because it went straight through the uprights behind the goal there.
We saw her with the only goal that Indy had in the 1-1 draw against Racing Louisville on June 2nd. It was almost kind of an accidental goal. She didn't get the hit she wanted to, but just caromed right past Castaneda, the goalkeeper for Racing Louisville.
Great early.
Knocks it forward.
It was, it was a good early look by Isker at that one.
I think Isker and Soderstrom teammates last 2 summers with Indy 11, last several years with Butler. Know each other quite well. Foul whistle against Indy. So the stalemate continues here in minute number 29. I have some coaching friends of mine that when they sit here in the broadcast booth, I know something good is happening, something is clicking in the brain when the notes start to be written down. So, all right, put from pen to voice, what are you seeing, Coach?
Well, first off, we have to make sure that we are doing what? Capitalizing on our opportunities. We've had a couple times here in the box where we weren't able to get the ball across the 18. Got to look like we did that on the second time. I'll wait here.
Chester worked on a defender, but couldn't get past Miller. Chester did a good job of kind of weaving through traffic to make sure that she was back on side.
Exactly. It was a smart move by her to make sure that she was back on side. But getting back to that, giving away opportunities, because sometimes they are few and far between, and you don't want that to come back to haunt you. So in that instance, the ball's played across to Katie. I'm sure next one comes across, she'll be putting that one away. Secondly, fouls. There's not much contact in terms of, hey, I'm not saying that you have to foul, but let's be a little bit more aggressive. It seems like we're just, and here, as I say that, here's another foul, but we've been on the other end of that, and we fouled them 3 times, but we're not aggressive in the attacking half where we need to be.
Well, here's the first foul that really say, okay, you can do something with this from a restart standpoint. So St. Charles can commit some more bodies forward here. Maybe try to nick one here against the Indy 11 in the first half. Ball sent in. Watson got ahead to it. Swept a little bit further back. I think that was Sexton that did that for Indy.
Yeah, it was good clearance out first to the ball.
Baca snuck behind Watson. Flag stayed down. Much to the dismay of Grace Barr, who took a moment to look directly at the AR and say, why wasn't the flag up? We play on.
Exactly, play to the whistle.
Grace last year was a player assistant coach for the Indy 11. So a longer spell of possession here for St. Charles in the attacking half, but Watson picks the pocket of the soon-to-be Xavier Musketeer. Soderstrom again throwing the brakes to make sure she stayed onside. She did that successfully. Now she'll wait for some help for some teammates. Couldn't play it around Rutherford. It will be a throw-in coming here for the Indy 11. Tonight's match presented in part by our friends at Alpha Health and Wellness, official Indy 11 W League team chiropractor. Isger tries the cutback. Looks for a teammate. Couldn't get there, and Kugler couldn't track it down in time. Good hustle, though, by Kugler. Couldn't keep it in play. Throw in coming here for St. Charles as we start minute number 33.
Excellent turn there by Isker when she was in the box. I'd like to see her maybe take that touch, get something on, you know, maybe for a shot or a little bit better pass to one of her teammates.
Edwards can play that with the mitts if she chooses to. As Barr headed that one back to her. It's Adams that's trying to create something for St. Charles. Indy has been in control of most of the possession, most of the scoring opportunities, but all that matters is the numbers you see on your screen. 0-0. If you're Paul Delinsky, what do you, I ask you for your kind of your tactical notes. What's going to be your message to your ladies at halftime if it stays scoreless through 45?
Well, at halftime, I think they have to seriously look at, you know, quicker transition, way quicker transition. Yes, we have possession, which is great in the back, slowing it down. But once we start to switch the field of attack, that has to be quicker. A lot of the forwards are checking into those pockets, either hit them or hit those flanks. And then once you get in that attacking third, let's make something happen. Don't be satisfied with just having the ball leave your foot. Have it be with purpose. Purpose for a shot, a pass, something that's going to be, you know, positive off that.
Hirschfeld looking for Isger. Isger just couldn't get the steps right.
Yeah, it was a little quick there, and after all, you're playing on turf, so it's going to be a little faster. But that was you know, some really great thinking there, splitting the defense.
Of course, Isger used to playing on turf at Butler. You have that at both the rechristened Salick Bowl and even Varsity Field down the hill when they have to vacate the shared facility. Great turn by Barr.
Excellent getting out of pressure there.
Chester plays it for Soderstrom. Soderstrom weaves her way around a defender, plays it across and couldn't get through to Isker. And the denial of a follow-up blast, well done by the midfielder. That was Imming that did that for St. Charles.
Right, she was goal side and it was a great clearance by her, but Isker was there to her credit.
Hirschfeld back post run and just Soderstrom couldn't get there in time. Miller able to snare it.
It was lovely how she took pace off that ball to have it drop right there at about, you know, at the pen spot. So, you know what? They're starting to get a little bit more, knowing that we have to be a little bit more creative here in the attack and third instead of just, you know, trying to hit what they had been doing and not being successful.
The 11 does have some talent in reserve. We got Maisie Whitsitt, who we saw be a difference maker when she came on as a sub against Racing Louisville here a couple of weeks ago. Team high 6 goals. I bring that up, in other words, saying basically if you're the forwards, empty the tank. You may not go the full 90, but there's more talent behind you that will get some run likely in tonight's match.
Exactly. And, yeah, you're going to have to look to your bench, you know, especially here in the second half and knowing how many games you have in such a short amount of time.
Our referee is going to play advantage if Indy had maintained possession when they did not. That was an easy whistle as Ella Rogers went to the turf and got fouled. Rogers, great ball. Onside ball. Sexton tracks it down.
We have numbers even in the box. Let's see what can happen here.
Likes to play it back to Hirschfeld. Hirschfeld, niftily done by St. Charles. Hirschfeld tried to dig in and did force the giveaway.
Yeah, she tried to play, and she did a good job. She lost the ball, and then she immediately recovered. And that's what you want to see a good player do. If you lose the ball, immediately recover and make something else happen, and she did that.
Chester trying to weave through traffic. Graduate of Delta High School. Had 59 goals in a season playing for the Delta Eagles.
Former Gatorade Player of the Year.
Addie. Find her way through Abigail Miller. 2 Millers in the lineup for St. Charles tonight. Chester. Now Krasula. Krasula, part of the U20 World Cup team for Australia last year. She plays her college soccer at VCU.
So as we saw there, you know, St. Charles FC, how many players they had behind the ball? It was so compact and congested. They need to bring the ball out. You know, Indy 11, we need to bring the ball out on the outside, offset them a little quicker instead of just settling for a ball back in.
There's
Great
Rogers,
turnover.
but just thinking to bed. This one's heading up to our broadcast location. So as we go track that one down, gives us a chance to tell you about our friends at Sports Tech HQ. Indiana, winning is in our DNA. For more information, visit forthewinners.com. Soderstrom takes a tumble. We play on. Throw in coming for the Indy 11. Hirschfeld. Watson. Couldn't find the right angle to attack, but persistence pays off. Just kept charging forward and eventually won it back.
Exactly. Maintain composure even after losing the ball. We're able to switch it.
Isger the target. Again, tucked in just to try to make sure she was onside. Kugler applies support as well. So Kugler up from that outside back position. Rogers finds a pocket of space. Ball cut back, but Chester did not get what she wanted to on it.
No, but it was a good look. It was a good look. She was there. The ball was, you know, played back to her there off that cross. And, you know, you want to see some shots being taken, and that's what just happened.
Charles finds an escape hatch to get to the midfield. Poked away from, recovered quickly by Imming. Imming just completed her college career. Played at Missouri St. Louis at the Division II level. Hirschfeld slides it through to Soderstrom. Soderstrom again, I think she knew she was off, and that's why she held up.
Exactly.
You'll buy a few seconds here if you're St. Charles as well.
You know, they've been under some pressure. They're getting a little bit of rest here.
They brought 5 bench players, 1 keeper, 4 field players. Indy has the full complement of 18 available. And 5 subs is what you're allowed. So this is not high school or college rules in terms of substitutions. Soderstrom takes it away. Hirschfeld, advantage being played. Hirschfeld has a hit. Hirschfeld just pulled it wide.
You know, she felt it. She felt that she could exploit that. She did. She had it on her dominant foot there. Here she is cutting it back and looking for that far post and just went a little too wide. Yes, she did have Chester on the left, but I don't think that she could have made that pass earlier, thinking that, you know, it just wasn't on her foot to do so, because we heard the crowd behind us going, oh, it was before that because Chester was open.
Final 5 minutes of half number 1 brought to us by Masters Heating and Cooling. Masters gets there faster. Find out how at mastersheatcool.com or call 866-844-HEAT. you're Paul Dolinsky, how do you feel about this half right now?
Oh, you've given St. Charles a moral victory right now. You know, it's 0-0. I'm not going to call it complacency. I'm just going to say it's a lack of, because he had referred to that in the previous game, so lack of being able to finish. You know, one of those is attributed to, you know, them playing a little bit better defensively and playing, I'm not going to call it an offsides trap, but just looking, you know, to draw the offsides a little bit more, which has slowed our attack and also our thought process, you know, whether it's the second or third time that we've gone in the attack after, you know, having possession.
Chester trying to find Isger. Isger, a bobble, but Miller's been great as well. She's not going to make anything spectacular, but what she has been is aggressive. She has not paused. She has come and gobbled up everything that's been sent her way.
Exactly, and as a goalkeeper, you have to, you know, if you have to commit to it, you're going to come out, you're going to play that angle, and she's done a great job in doing that, committing to her decisions.
Hirschfeld will play it to Kugler. Knocked forward by Rogers, or Krasula, excuse me. Speaking of a great read, Watson all the way to the middle of the park from her right back position. She's going to have to retreat here a little bit. Adams to Baca. She's got 3 defenders tracking her. Got a couple of options left, decides to go for goal, and nothing on frame that time.
No, there was basically a 3-on-6 attack there. Once we lost the ball, we do get numbers behind once again, and so it was a good job in that respect. We have to make sure that we don't give up that shot. Somebody has to commit to taking ball first and making sure that you know, their attackers don't have a chance to at least get a shot off.
Not sure looking at much in the way of stoppage time here at the end of the first half. Been a handful of whistles, but not much in the way of delays. And Indy gives it away. You can kind of hear some of the chatter between the Indy players. A little frustration starting to build here.
Exactly. You know, players are expecting, you know, players to be in that spot. Playing the quick 1-2 and having it go out of bounds was not ideal, especially when they had 15 yards ahead of them to play it into as well and to actually move it up the field.
Good looking ball here. Sexton on the front foot. Christensen giving chase for St. Charles, and Sexton could not maintain possession. First of 2 this week on ISC. The 11 women. Chester sizing up her options. The edge of the 18. Looking back post for Isger, doesn't get through. Hirschfeld steers it again, but Isger tried to get back on side and couldn't get to it.
It's great composure there by Addie Chester when she had the opportunity. She looked to go, you know, back post, but the defender was smart enough to read that, and the ball never got to Isger in that instance.
Watson. Advantage being played. Rogers. Chester. Not sure she planned to leave it to Hirschfeld like that, but it worked out just fine. Sexton knocks it forward. Sexton has 4 options to choose from. We get 1 minute of added time before we get to halftime. And again, an Indy 11 possession or build dies in and around the 18. But yet they keep winning the ball back in the midfield. Soderstrom draws 3 defenders circling her. Kugler tries to switch sides of the attack. And that'll be a foul. Hirschfeld a bit aggressive there.
Yeah. You'll take that foul, especially in defensive third. I didn't think it was quite warranted for a card in that instance.
Hirschfeld shown the first yellow of the match. Christensen drawing said yellow. Christensen plays at Central Missouri at the Division II level. Had 15 goals and 9 assists this year for UCM. Bush sends it in. And that's it. Well, an even half, and that is news for St. Charles FC. Again, Indy beat this team 8-0 when they played back on May 10th. Indy has yet to get one in the opening 45 tonight. We'll take this time out. We'll come back with a halftime show beginning next as you're watching 11 Women's Soccer here on the ISC Sports Network.
I'm a happy-go-lucky guy, but sometimes I get a little stressed because I'm not for sure what's going to happen down the road. I was at the cancer unit, and when I come out from seeing the doctor, I said something about needing some help with all the paperwork. They gave me a name and a phone number. Her name is Molly. She works over at Community. She tells me, stop worrying, let me take care of it. She is my angel.
Stand by me.
For over a century, Indiana has been the destination for sports innovation and the state where champions are crowned. Now, we're entering a new era with Sports Tech HQ, a place that inspires innovation and invests in entrepreneurs who are changing the game, one startup at a time. Welcome to the crossroads of sports and technology. Sports Tech HQ, home of the game changers.
Back at halftime, Indy 11 women and St. Charles FC playing to a 0-0 draw through the opening 45 minutes. Greg Rakestraw, Angela Berry-White with you on the ISC Sports Network. Again, we've talked about a few of these things over the course of the first half, but if you were given the halftime message, as you have done so many times over the years, what's your message to your team here at the break if you're Paul Dolinsky?
Well, if you looked at, the keys of the game that I thought that they needed to address, first off, momentum. They didn't take their momentum into this half, into the first half of this game. Matter of fact, you gave St. Charles their momentum. You gave them confidence. They're walking into the locker room going, wow, look what we just did. So how do you turn that back around, okay? Well, one, you have to, anytime you're in the attacking third, you have to make more of an effort to get into that spot to finish. Don't be satisfied with just getting a foot on the ball. And like I said earlier, you make something happen. You make something happen. And I still have to come back and I have to credit St. Charles and what they were able to do, getting their numbers behind the ball, making sure that they were drawing the offsides. So, okay, on momentum, let's negate some of these offside, opportunities that we've now put ourselves into. How do you do that? You have to check around. You check your shoulder, see where that defender is, making sure that you're in front of them when the ball is played and not waiting or stepping too soon. Also, attacking the flanks, did a great job of that, but we have to put somebody on the other side of the ball. And when the ball is served in, be the first one. And the only thing you need is a redirection, a deflection. Be quicker in getting the ball switched and getting them into the attack. And I think that's going to be a key as well. Be quicker on the switch and into the attack. And then once they have the ball, we can deny them space a little bit more and be aggressive, because we have done that on occasion, and we've done that, they've turned the ball over. So let's just try and see if we can up that, all of those areas that we discussed that would be their keys. We just have to do a better job. And, once one goal comes, I think you'll start to see just a slew of them after. On
the flip side, if you're St. Charles, do you do a thing differently as long as the scoreline remains 0-0?
No, it's working for you. It's totally working. They have confidence, and what they've done, when they've conceded as many goals as they have And, you know, in just the 6 games that they have played through the season, you know, of course you're not going to take, you know, say, hey, well, we did this, and you get a, you know, nice, you know, clap on the back for being 0-0 at half. No, you take that momentum if you're SCFC and you ride that. You're making sure that, you know, you're not going to expose yourself by stepping in the back. You're going to step at the right time. And you know what? They just might be happy with not scoring, because on the attack, how many times have you seen more than 3 people in the attack for them? 0.
It's a St. Charles team that knows there's no playoff for them. The playoff math does not exist for them. With 4 matches to play, Indy already sitting on 16 points out of possible 18. The most St. Charles can get is 14. They are playing for pride. We'll have to be proud about in terms of how they have played. They played 2 0-0 draws so far this year, but frankly, not against a team the caliber of the Indy 11, who are the current Valley Division leaders. We'll take this quick timeout. When we come back, first half stats, first half highlights, and more as you're watching Indy 11 Women's Soccer on 11 Sports and the ISC Sports Network.
And the winner of the Indianapolis 500.
Indiana, winning is in our DNA. And we're winning the future with $22 billion in new business investment, building an economy of the future with unprecedented momentum. Indiana, for the winners.
Looking to keep your home comfortable year-round? Look no further than Masters Heating and Cooling. Right now, you can save up to $2,599 on new system installations with 0 down and up to 72 months financing. That's unbeatable value and unbeatable comfort. And if you're just looking to maintain your current home comfort system, we've got you covered with a $69 tune-up from Masters. Don't miss out. Both offers expire April 30th. Contact Masters Heating and Cooling today and experience the ultimate in home comfort.
The main part of my job is definitely listening. People deserve transparency. I don't want the financial part to be something that stops or hinders a patient from having the health care that they need. I try to treat each person like they're my mom or my grandmother, my daughter, my husband. I want them to know that they're not just another phone call for us. And it's very rewarding to know that I can provide peace of mind.
Quick check of the first half highlights. What you'll see is a lot of possession for the Indy 11, a lot of build for the Indy 11, but plenty of moments on goal. Nothing that required anything of the spectacular from the goalkeeper in Miller. And frankly, Angela, a couple of chances that Katie Soderstrom would like to have back.
Oh, exactly. You know, and she has a knack for goal, and I said this earlier, and she knows where to be on the field. She knows that, hey, as a goal scorer, I have to be near post. I have to be far post. I'm going to be that slot. I'm going to look to provide that assist. And there, right there, she knows that was a sitter. You know, it's played perfect ball, just bending away from the keeper. And then that one, you know, Isker, she was just shielded. If she would have been just, you know, just a step in front of her defender there, she could have just, you know, nice little touch in.
You've seen a lot of kind of marshalling in the midfield. That's what Hirschfeld does for the team. She had a great look here as well and just pulled one wide here. That was an inch or two away from being the first goal of the match.
Well, exactly. And what she did at speed, she attacked that defender, brought them across, and knowing that was the spot to put it. That was definitely the spot. It was, like you said, it was just a little bit outside.
Quick check of the Valley Division standings. Again, just 5 teams in the Valley Division this year. Indy 11 already has played 6 of their 10 matches. And again, you see that Racing Louisville and Indy 11 are level on points because Racing Louisville has played 1 more match. They played King's Hammer last night and won that one handily. It was 4-0 at halftime was that match between Racing Louisville and King's Hammer. So if Indy can even get a draw in this one, which they are certainly angling for all 3 points, but even a draw here would put them in front of Racing Louisville. If for some reason Indy drops one at some point and the teams end up tied, Indy would own the tiebreaker because they took a possible 4 of 6 points against Racing Louisville. Of the matches remaining for Indy, it is as follows. They host King's Hammer on Sunday. They go to Lexington next Thursday. Then they are off until the following Friday when St. Charles comes back here. And again, there is just one playoff spot for these 5 teams. You have to win your division to advance on. This year, there are teams advancing from numerous different divisions. Again, after in year 1, 44 teams played in the USLW League. This time around, more than 60 teams, I think it's nearly 70 teams competing in this W League season. Again, you've been around this level of soccer for some time. Just your overall impressions, kind of seeing it in this package for the first time, the level of play you're seeing on the field tonight.
Oh, it's outstanding. Just to think of, when I left college and I was still playing, I was playing over in Ohio. I couldn't even play someplace close to me, so I had to travel all the time. And it was still in this environment. I mean, there's still a team called the Long Island Rough Riders.
Yep.
I used to play against them all the time, and they're still in existence. So to see something like this, and like you said, there's over 60 teams now. That's what we want to see, the growth of the game. And to seeing it at a high level, knowing that all of these girls, young ladies have a place to play now, during college, post-college, still looking, for that opportunity to play pro, whether it's here with the NWSL or in 2 years when, the proposed team is here, which would be, incredible, or just go overseas. And there are quite a few girls, that are aspiring to do that. And then you look at St. Charles and the youth and what they're able to do against these, college age and beyond, women that they're playing against. So I just love the fact that there are avenues to continue to play. And that's how the game has grown, by having more opportunities. And, let's fast forward a month from now when, all eyes are on the Southern Hemisphere and, we're looking towards the Women's World Cup.
I cannot tell you how much I'm looking forward to that 3 a.m. match they have coming up in the group stage.
You know what? We might have, we should have a viewing party. How about we just tell everybody to come out? And
I know where you live. I'll swing by the house.
Okay, sounds good.
That'll work. All right, we'll talk about that a few weeks down the road. Maisie Whitsitt, she's got the kit on. She is getting ready. Has a teammate about to join her as well. So there could be some, that's Jenna Chatterton. It's going to be some early changes here for Paul Dolinsky's side for the Indy 11 women. They are 0-0 with St. Charles. Take this quick timeout. We'll come back. Second half action from Grand Park comes your way next as you're watching USL W League Soccer on 11sports.com and the ISC Sports Network.
Test drive the best ride. Honda, our largest inventory is here. Drive now from $249 a month. Cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs. The best value brand with the best resale value from $249. Search a local Honda dealer today.
It's very true that it takes a village to raise a child. And when it comes to my healthcare village at Community Health Network, it's all nestled right in my phone. Accessing healthcare is the ability to be connected with your provider and ask a question when you need it. I feel like when I'm meeting with a community nurse practitioner or doctor, they're tuned in to what is going on with me and the way that they can serve me best.
Stand by me.
From the engine to the transmission, Honda certified it. Drive with confidence, knowing from mile 1 to mile 100,000, you're backed with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Only available at your local Honda dealer.
Quick check of the stats from half number 1. 7 shots for the Indy 11, 2 for St. Charles. But only 2 of those 7 shots for the 11 ended up on target. 1 of the 2 shots for the visitors ended up on target. Soderstrom had 3 shots, only player for Indy that took more than 1. Shots taken by both Imming as well as Baca for St. Charles FC. Indy 2 corners, none for St. Charles. The offside flag went up 4 times against the Indy 11 in the first half.
I can bet that, we'll be mindful of our offside positioning here in the second half, and we're not going to give away those opportunities like we did.
Well, as we go to break, or come back from break again. We knew there'd be some subs relatively quickly for the Indy 11. Maisie Whitsitt, California, played at the University of Louisville. She is the leading goal scorer for the Indy 11 this season with 6. She will come on for the second 45. And Jenna Chatterton with speed to burn from Noblesville and the University of Tennessee. She will come on as well. Let's do a quick check of kind of formational changes. We think that it's Whitsitt for Isger in terms of up top. And I think it's Chatterton for Sexton in the back for Indy.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching Chatterton run up and down this sideline closest to us. So I do think that this will be two very good substitutions, and hopefully they'll actually get something going a little quicker than we did in the first half.
So Whitsitt standing over this one. Waiting for the official signal. And our second half is underway. No substitutions just yet for St. Charles. We kind of saw this when Indy had a couple of subs at halftime 2 weeks ago against Racing Louisville, and it's kind of just changed the dynamic and flow of the game. And part of that is, again, knowing you're going to play twice in 4 days. Here's Soderstrom. Soderstrom looking to cut it back, does so twice. Can she fit it in toward the 6? Yes, she does. Chester lines it up, but again, sails that one up and over the crossbar.
Great opportunity and good composure there by Soderstrom. Actually, drawing the defender back, putting it back on her dominant foot, having a nice cross.
Watson, again, pressing forward. The backs are given some freedom here in this set for the Indy 11. Kind of a chance to play the quick counter for St. Charles. They did not take advantage of it.
Their only option there is to play the long ball, and knowing that they had a forward pressing down onto her. It was a good job defensively by Indy 11 getting that compressed defense going and hopefully getting that quick transition. It did lead to a throw-in. So it was good in terms of getting the ball back.
Kugler looking for Whitsitt. Chester, not nice touch, but just never could settle it. Hirschfeld pressing forward. Rogers eventually finds it at her feet.
And immediately, what are our midfielders doing? Looking, as soon as they receive the ball, quick turn to switch it.
Here's Chatterton in her second summer of playing with the Indy 11. She's played at the University of Tennessee in a reserve role each of the last couple of years. She is the speed merchant for the Indy 11. Rogers on the cut back. Rogers sends it across. Defender got there first. Miller didn't have to make a play on it.
Waiting for that near post run. It wasn't quite there. We were delayed in getting that run in the box.
Good win there by St. Charles. Chatterton. Step for step and eventually won back by Rogers.
It's a great double team there. We had pressure and then she turned right into the second pressure person.
It was Christensen that was tied up with Chatterton. Foul going to be called as Hirschfeld takes a tumble. I think that was Adams that collided with Hirschfeld. And Watson telling Hirschfeld, hey, get forward. Not the most dangerous of set piece locations, but Indy will take the chance to throw a few more numbers forward here.
Exactly. Let's drop this right at the pen spot and see what happens. See if we can draw the goalkeeper out and have her be a little bit indecisive.
Whitsitt got a head to it. Not on frame, and Miller did not need to play it and doesn't. Indy had hoped for a corner, their third of the match. Not coming just yet. I think that was out before Chatterton touched it. But they will get possession back to St. Charles FC. Good support there by Krasula. Ball finds its way back to Chester. Chester foul.
Nice composure there. She had her head up the entire time looking for a release point. And of course they were a little too over aggressive with that foul.
Now Barr can send some more numbers forward. Play it out wide to Watson.
Great first touch.
Watson trying to work her way around Mackenzie Smith. Digging in, good balance. Inside the 18, charges forward. Ask for a handball, won't get it. Hirschfeld sends it in. On the redirection, Whitsitt,
nice.
A touch, knocks it forward. Soderstrom, flag stays down. Soderstrom goes down. Goalkeeper played it cleanly. Maybe should come to help out Soderstrom, but nothing of it for the Indy 11.
It's a great first touch to bring the ball down, and a nice run, and she delayed her run just enough so that she stayed onside. Here's the ball played in, brings it down brilliantly, and a nice touch. It was just a little too heavy on that first touch. And of course it helped that the goalkeeper was quite aggressive and came out and played that angle phenomenally.
Fans, just a reminder, you can treat yourself to an elegant stay at the Renaissance, just minutes away from both Grand Park and downtown Carmel. Greg Rakestraw, Angela Berry White with you here on the ISC Sports Network. Thanks to those of you watching on 11 Sports. And the division leaders in Indy have been unable to break through. It's the team that's currently in 5th place in this 5-team division in St. Charles. Chatterton weaving her way through traffic. Chatterton knocks it forward. Soderstrom, great save, Miller. But flag was up.
But what a play by Chatterton.
Well, Chatterton has been a difference maker. And again, part of the substitutions for Indy is that, again, you got to play twice in 4 days. So is Chatterton in your best 11? Yes.
Yes, definitely.
But you're trying to maybe try to get her to play 120, 135 minutes out of 180 over the course of that 4-day span. I was trying to build your depth for a potential playoff run for the Indy 11. St. Charles has elected not to go for those long diagonal balls. They have erred on the side of caution in possession, viewing that anytime they have the ball and Indy doesn't is a win for St. Charles. It's worked so far. Chester, Whitsitt trying to dig in, or Soderstrom rather. Rogers. Now Watson. Watson plays it in. Rogers has a hit, but right at Miller.
Yeah, just prior to that and getting in the attacking third, and you see Addie Chester drawing into that defender, not playing a nice cheeky ball into the middle, and almost had a shot, but we maintained possession and still were able to get something going off of that.
Now, Miller has been really good as well. Let's credit her for the job she has done. It hasn't had to be spectacular. She's been really solid. Another tactical change that we notice for St. Charles, Adams is really playing a little further back in the midfield, just trying to give them an extra body to possess.
Exactly, and you do notice that we have a lot more movement up top, you know, in terms of pressuring them defensively.
Soderstrom couldn't keep it at her feet. Throw in coming here for St. Charles. Baca the target. Barr. Adams. Christensen. Christensen tries the cut back. Adams shot, diving effort, loose ball, tapped home. St. Charles has the lead.
That was textbook in terms of what you need to do as a forward. You follow, follow, follow.
And that is Baca with the goal, her second of the season. And she is a just graduated high school senior from Edwardsville, Illinois. Going to play at Xavier coming up this year. And the last place team has a 1-goal lead against the first place Indy 11 in the 54th minute.
Well, something that's a rarity that doesn't happen is that our defenders, we just kind of fell asleep there on the recovery, which was the ball was played in the middle. She took a shot, great save by the goalkeeper there, but just couldn't hold on to it. Parried out in front of her, and our defender turned their back, and Baca was there to put it away.
Ball knocked forward. Now here's Whitsitt. Whitsitt cuts it back. Chester takes a tumble, and again, not enough there. Miller will hold it. This is where we point out, this is year 2 of the Indy 11 women. They have never lost a regular season match. In fact, when they were here 2 weeks ago against Racing Louisville, that is the first time that a team has pulled a point at home against the Indy 11. St. Charles has yet to win a match this year. The goal they just scored was their 4th of the season. They have played their game and played it well. And they jumped on their first opportunity in the second half to potentially open back up the division for Racing Louisville. Rogers. Foul called. And that's Emming, who's going to be shown a card for kicking that ball the other end.
Yeah, exactly. That was uncalled for. It really was. I think she was trying to complain that the referee was in a bad position, but no, she extended the arm there, and it was definitely, on the replay, possibly not that egregious of a foul, but it was enough that it, offset us maintaining possession.
I thought it was a foul, but obviously the card-worthy act was kicking that ball the other end. So both teams now sitting on a yellow. Watson's got the yellow for Indy. Let's see if this kind of snaps Indy back to life. Opportunity for Whitsitt, heads it down, but just could not keep it on the post. She was onside.
Right, she actually had time to bring that ball down.
Let's thank our friends at Fluid Waste Services, Indiana's premier utility service provider since 1989. That ball ricocheted off of Christensen. The Toys tried to clear it. So a throw in coming here for the Indy 11, just shy of the corner flag. And Indy trailed in this building 2 weeks ago to Racing Louisville. They would tie it at about this moment of the match. Whitsitt applying pressure. Ball knocked free. There's an open net for a moment, but Soderstrom plays it right to Miller. And Miller going to take some time here. And there may be a bit of time shaving being done here.
Yeah, that's generous in saying that. Yes, time shaving. I think, she wanted a little breather, and then also knowing that, you're up 1-0.
Chatterton. Hirschfeld. Rogers. Watson. Watson on the cutback, well defended. Well done by St. Charles. Again, if this result were to hold, Racing Louisville and Indy would be tied. Again, Indy owns the tiebreaker. But it would make the final 3 matches a little more nerve-wracking, I think, than the Indy 11 and Paul Dolinsky had anticipated.
Exactly, and on paper, you would think, yes, that we would be up. We would have a few more goals, obviously, than nil, but that's why you play the game, because nothing's guaranteed.
It was 8-0 when these teams played a little more than a month ago. And they'll play one more time. Season finale is here on June 30th between these two teams. Krasula. The Brickyard Battalion trying to do their part to spur on the ladies tonight. Hirschfeld. Soderstrom. They closed down by St. Charles.
It's great defensive play in terms of stepping into that opportunity for her to play that ball.
On the clearance. In possession of spells lasting a little bit longer. Krasula with the clattering of Christensen and trying to track that one down. Whitson. Krasula. Kugler. Ball sent in. Hirschfeld, good job by Miller.
Miller did an excellent job in stepping into the flight of the ball. If she would not have, we were there on the end of it and probably could have had a nice shot on goal, if not a goal.
Her play has been outstanding tonight. Now Kugler in retreat. Adams applying pressure. And Kugler elects to play that ball sideways. Good win by Hirschfeld. 4v3. Knocks it forward. Here comes Soderstrom. A trio of options make it 4. Hirschfeld left foot up and over the ball. So substitution about to happen for the Indy 11. First, let's show you Soderstrom's effort to find Hirschfeld. Just couldn't get the steps right.
Exactly. Just a little too far out in front. She just could not redirect it to keep it low.
So Matsuhisa will come in for the Indy 11. Kana Matsuhisa from Tokyo. She's going to be a junior at VCU this coming year. She was second team All-Atlantic 10 was Kana this past year. So she will come in to replace Katie Soderstrom. So Soderstrom's night is over after 60 minutes. Soderstrom's had some good looks, but as you can tell by the 0 on the board, she has been unable to cash in to this point. So 3 of a potential 5 substitutions have been used now for the Indy 11. While not a full complement available for St. Charles, they have yet to use one tonight. Krasula. Here's Matsuhisa.
Krasula playing to her teammate at VCU there.
Matsuhisa slides across. Just kind of lost her edge there from it, to use kind of a hockey term. Just stumbled a bit. You see the substitution made by Paul Dolinsky and the Indy 11. Chatterton. Now Barr just sizing up her options as to where to go.
We have to make sure that we can hit those gaps a little bit quicker through the midfield. There's no need to bypass the midfield when we've been so dominant in terms of being able to control it. So if we can do a better job hitting those gaps, quick turn, quick change, and get to the other side of the field.
Miller digs in, finds Adams, but quickly dispossessed by Kugler. Now Matsuhisa trying to use her speed. Hirschfeld has a run going. Ball played left side instead. Opportunity here. Got to it in time, but Miller cut the angle off yet again. She likes to restart quickly, which has not been the norm for St. Charles tonight.
No, and with little momentum, little confidence, being up 1-0, they're playing a lot more aggressive.
This reminder, you can take the Indy 11 with you wherever you go. Download the Indy 11 app in the Apple Store or get it on Google Play. Well, this is not the way I think a lot of folks thought this was going to play out tonight.
No, not at all. Knowing that they've had 1 shot on goal this half, They're 1 for 1. We've had many shots. How many of them have been on frame, though? 2, 3?
All knocked forward. Chester finds a pocket of space, but couldn't maintain possession of the ball. Hirschfeld. Good first touch. Watson cuts it back in. Watson. Rogers makes a run. Rogers tries to slide in behind, but St. Charles was there with the answer.
Exactly. They always make sure they have a great cover player there. And in that instance, if she wasn't there, that ball would have slotted through.
Watson broke through for a moment, but couldn't maintain possession. Now Christensen. Christensen has some angles of attack, but Chatterton closed the door. And then Miller got it right back. And Edwards will quickly pounce on this one for Indy. Matsuhisa onside. Nope, she wasn't. Flag went up. A lot of the volunteer officials in the BYB thought she was onside.
Well, you know, everybody's a ref, especially when it's not in your favor.
They're just a little partial, as you can tell by scarves, attire, etc. But they're good people.
Great people.
May not be qualified linesmen. Just saying.
Exactly, but they're very enthusiastic, and that's what we need.
Well, it's, again, so unique at this level that the support for the men's team is carried over to the women's side as well. And Matsuhisa. Chester cuts it back. And again, not enough in it. Goes to ground. But not drawing the whistle.
What a great touch by Matsuhisa. She had it on her right. Quick hesitation, cuts back to her left, and a precise pass. You know, right there to Chester. And she could have gotten knacked, but you got to stay on your feet in that instance or get rid of the ball just a little bit sooner.
Tonight's match presented in part by Community Health Sports Medicine. Exceptional care, simply delivered. Krasula. Whitsitt breaks free. Whitsitt has a hit. Miller spills it. Defender comes and says, you know what, we'll give the corner.
Yeah, great explosive speed. She saw the space, she split the defender, and that was a great opportunity for us there. And she followed up. Not only did she take the shot, she followed her own shot, and look what happened. Good things happen when you do that, and now we have a corner.
So third corner of the match for the Indy 11. Barr will take it. 6 in the box for Indy. Couple of options short. Into the 6, Miller. Got both palms on it.
Way to bring that ball down, but we need to have some traffic around her. You just can't let her have an uncontested catch there.
Miller had 78 saves this year in 21 matches playing for Greenville. Chatterton. Rogers. Hirschfeld foul. That's Hemming. She's sitting on a yellow, but that was by no means worthy of another admonishment from the official. Just a foul.
Just a little aggressive there.
Chester is charging forward. Hirschfeld finds a pocket of space. 8 behind the ball here for St. Charles, and now make it 9. Watson will be Indy 11 on the throw-in. Matsuhisa gives it a hit, but didn't deliver that ball in the spot that she had hoped.
No, I think the spin of the turf probably got away from her and didn't allow her to get a great touch on the ball there to maybe send it across.
18 regular season matches before tonight for the Indy 11. They have won 15 of them. They have drawn the other 3. Their lone loss was in the only playoff match they played last year against Minnesota Aurora, who, much like Indy, has been one of the top teams in the league. Sam Slimick will come on for the Indy 11. Had the pleasure of watching Sam play the last several years for my buddy Chris Johnson for IUPUI. So Sam comes on. Greta Krasula will check out. Indy has used now 4 substitutions here in this second half. Chatterton Chester. Hirschfeld. Hirschfeld knocks it forward. Matsuhisa flags up. Ball found the back of the net. Matsuhisa got clattered into, but offside flag goes up yet again.
They stepped at the right time.
If you're Indy, how do you combat that?
Well, first off, you can't make those runs directly behind. They have to be a diagonal run. Diagonal run will always offset, and when you start your run, you have to start it in front of the defender. Don't try and hide behind them because they know that that's what you're doing. So they're going to step, and they're already going to get you offsides by doing that. So you got to make that run a little sooner and step in front and have it be a diagonal.
Foul against St. Charles. By the way, I want to go back. Great job by our camera crew to show that she was clearly offside. That was the right call that was made by the AR on the far sideline.
Exactly. The other option is to check in front of that defender. Just check too. Play a nice little 1-2 combination, meaning like a little give and go per se, right around that defender because they're all flat and they will be caught off guard by doing that as well.
So again, not the most nervy of places to restart, but something you can do something with.
Exactly. You have numbers up. Maybe we could, get Chatterton up there. Or Barr, just release one more.
Watson sends it in. Headed by Whitsitt, but nowhere near close to frame. Let's thank our ISC Sports Network crew, Jordan Shue, Daryl Tibbs, Rob Lynch, Kyle Donlin, Aaron Van Wolde. Making sure our signal gets to you on this Thursday night. And my guess would be that maybe word has gotten around about this score. There might be a few folks from kind of other places on the W League checking this out because this would be, again, kind of one of the stunner results of the year if it holds in the fashion in which it is now. Watson weaving through traffic. Plays it back for Hirschfeld. Hirschfeld gives it a hit from distance, but nothing doing from that level.
Probably could have had a little bit, a little bit better option. Chatterton had released when the ball was played to her in the midfield. Maybe, hey, get your head up. Let's look to switch the attack there because they were not expecting that.
Final substitution for the Indy 11. Addie Chester is done for the night. Indy will bring in a defensive-minded replacement in her stead. So Indy will kind of move a midfielder up. Adams trying to pounce on that. Kugler overruns it. Adams showing her speed. Adams cuts back, tries to find a window, chips the keeper, and scores. 2-0 St. Charles. St. Charles has had 2 looks this half, and they've converted both of them.
Well, you know that they are thinking that they needed to have a better presence in the back there. One-on-one, both defenders commit, but they didn't commit and have one actually want to attack the ball there.
So the 2 teenagers both have scored tonight for St. Charles. Baca and Adams, and Indy is really in danger now of seeing 3 points go by the wayside. Chatterton couldn't keep it on her feet. Barr joins the attack. Barr on the same page with Matsuhisa. By the way, for Indy, Nicole Kevgia enters the match in a defensive role. Matsuhisa trying to force the issue. Well, Indy had given up 1 goal all season. They've now given up 2 since halftime.
Not ideal, but they will learn from this. They definitely will, and figure out how to, one, play a little bit better defense and not dive in, which is what happened on that one. Keep your feet. Deny that angle for her to take a shot. Your cover, defender that comes in can't cut off your initial defender's, pressure there, meaning that they have to make sure that they're working together in that instance.
Throw in coming for St. Charles. Ball knocked forward. Whits it onside. Caroming through players here. Slick playing up top for Indy. Chatterton to the edge of the 18 and didn't find a teammate at first. Eventually Rogers tracks it down. Watson directs it. Little back heel by Slimek would not go.
Not a bad option there. She's playing the ball low back across the box, thinking that she was actually going to be able to make a play. And, you know, she gets her foot on that. That could have potentially been a goal just on a redirection.
It's kind of a quick flip to the mental Rolodex. I think Indy was blanked one time last year. One of their 2 draws against King's Hammer was of the 0-0 variety. Even in the draw this year against Racing Louisville, they netted 1 here from Soderstrom. First things first, you got to score 1 to give yourself a chance to get a point back and maintain sole possession of first.
Exactly.
But as of now, the actions of St. Charles have given Racing Louisville a lifeline in terms of being back in the playoff hunt. Hirschfeld is everything a bit off right now for Indy.
Exactly. Not, you know, instead of playing the ball just a little bit off into those passing lanes, we're playing it directly to the defender the last 2 times we've tried to switch the ball.
Kendall White will come on here for St. Charles FC. Christensen will be done for the night. So first, a potential 4 field player substitutions that St. Charles FC has the luxury of having. Sports this match brought to us by Alpha Health and Wellness, the official Indy 11 W League team chiropractor. Opportunity here for Whitson. Quickly knocked away. Headed back to the keeper.
Good composure there.
Matsuhisa onside. Kugler knocks it forward. Matsuhisa couldn't get a boot to it. Nobody ever hit that. It'll be a goal kick. Again, you saw an Indy 11 player take a tumble, but it'll be deemed to be shoulder to shoulder, and it was like a player was taken down trying to get that on the back post. Let's take a look.
Yep, great ball. Matsuisha's there to try and, you know, possibly redirect it. And we were just not at the far post at the right time. Just a little bit off there.
See the last substitution made by St. Charles. We've got nobody else warming up currently. Slimek knocks it forward, but again, doesn't get enough on it. Indy 11 seeing chance after chance go by the wayside.
Exactly. She did a wonderful job in terms of holding off both her defenders and getting first to the ball, but just wasn't there for her to get enough on it to get a pass to the defender.
Handball is the call. Indy very much in danger of losing a first league match in their 19th match played over the last 2 seasons. Edwards, White up and over the bar. So Kendall again had just entered. Really kind of her first chance for a touch of this match. Matsuhisa the target, but pass is there. This is kind of a rattled Indy 11 team right now.
Yeah, they've never been in this position, so
nope.
they're trying to figure out how do they play through this. Great turn, but look who's there. Another defender. They've committed and they've dropped a few more numbers back, anticipating that they would do that, being up 2-0.
Not only would this be the first loss for the Indy 11, this would be the first win for St. Charles. Doing so on the road. Matsahisa digs in, gets it back. Chatterton just couldn't get there, and Miller yet again. Read it right.
Totally read it right, but it was a great ball played in. She split the defense, and we were making a diagonal run in the box that was just a little too fast to get there.
Barr knocks it forward. Last touched by St. Charles.
Good defensive play coming in, playing it off of her.
But on the throw, it goes right off a St. Charles player. Kugler. Matsahisa. Matsahisa. Well done. With the left foot. Couldn't get it past that last defender in Toish. On the cutback. Whitsitt. Just trying to get an angle to attack. Went out the edge of the 18. Couldn't get the whistle. Hirschfeld could do nothing with it. She's a bit slow to get up.
Yep.
I think that's more just from being gassed, from chasing everything now for the better part of 80 minutes.
Exactly, playing in the midfield. It's one of those things where you are playing 18 to 18, and she's been extending herself playing that way.
Flag stays down. Whitsitt. Can she get it on her feet for a shot on goal? She can. Miller saves it. And then Whitsitt going to be shown yellow for making contact with the keeper, trying to pick up the loose change.
Exactly. It was a great turn, great determination to beat that last defender. She's got to keep that ball low. Got to keep the ball low.
Well, finishing has been the thing for the Indy 11. They've created opportunity after opportunity, but just have not been able to keep it on frame. Well, really two chances of note, and both of them scored upon by St. Charles here in the second half. You can tell that Miller has given everything to give her team a chance in this one. Trainer will be called on from the Indy 11's perspective. This will add a little time on the back end, which is obviously a good thing for the Indy 11.
Right, and they can gather and talk about what they can do in this final 10 minutes. It is possible to score multiple goals.
So a chance to kind of recalibrate here for the Indy 11. Waldolinski kind of letting his team kind of figure this one out right now, frankly.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're the ones out there playing, and sometimes you have to, give the players that opportunity to, like you said, figure it out.
Of course, this reminder, we'll talk all about this match and preview more of Sunday's match on Soccer Saturday on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. We'll be joined by Amanda Vandervoort, who is the commissioner of the USL Super League and heads up the W League efforts as well. Then head coach Mark Lowry will join us too, as the men are in Birmingham to take on former Indy 11 striker Tyler Pasher. It all comes up on Saturday morning on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Miller is not going to take the goal kick here. I think there's a bit of conversation between fourth official and referee. Not sure if another yellow is being given here or what exactly the course of action is going to be. Substitution going to be brought on here, looks like, for St. Charles, and what we have now had happen is that we're going to get, I think, a significant amount of added time at the end of this one.
Oh, definitely. You're looking at possibly about 4 minutes, which is an eternity if you have a lead in a game and you have extra time.
Substitution for St. Charles FC in the 84th minute. Entering the game, number 14, Jordan Land. Leaving the
So Jordan Land will enter. Trying to see this one off for St. Charles. Mackenzie Smith. Will exit. Is their second substitution. Whitsitt. Well done. It's great shoulder to shoulder there by St. Charles.
Exactly. Great defensive play, making sure that she could not get a foot on the ball there and riding her and the ball out in that instance.
Well, this is lined up to be a fun bus ride back to St. Louis tonight. Very much an unexpected result. Whitsitt plays it off the back of Slimmick. Chattered in the target for Indy. That ball caromed off of a leg of a player for St. Charles and a bit of a gift. That will lead to a corner kick coming for the Indy 11, and you have no choice. You have to throw everybody forward here.
Exactly, get everybody forward. And it was kind of indicative of the play that Indy 11 has had and being, unlucky, as you could say, when the ball was initially played and it played off of the back of one of the, forwards there.
At the edge of the 6, headed down through traffic, but again, no whistle that against Indy. You can hear from the Indy 11 crowd and the Indy 11 bench not happy about why a whistle was given there. Goalkeeper was in a prone position, but I don't think that was because of anything that an Indy 11 player did.
Right, I don't know if she fell on her own volition there. Did not appear that there was a push. Let's see.
Yeah, she was not impeded by Watson being in front of her there.
No, that was her tripping over her own players. Looked like left foot there.
Barr, a blast off the post.
Well, it was an excellent strike, keeping it low. And it
hit the wheel, yep.
Yep, hit right off the wheel there.
Yep. Foul now called against Indy 11. And again, great job by our camera crew to show you that it hit off the goal support that was outside of the post. Edwards out to pounce on this. Matsuhisa's onside.
She's off to the races. Here we have far post is open as well.
Left foot, Matsuhisa couldn't slide it through. It's just been that sort of night for the Indy 11 when the options have been there. Ball has gone the wrong way. They've made the wrong decision. Just one of those nights. Whitsitt, nothing there. Back post, Chatterton couldn't get there in time. Tonight's match again presented by our friends at Alpha Health and Wellness, the official Indy 11 W League team chiropractor. You're Paul Dolinsky. Where do you go to work on this for Sunday afternoon?
Well, let's work on our finishing. But let's first address the issues that caused the goals, because those are fixable. Those are two instances where on the first goal, it was literally did not step in time, and nobody, no one followed. The initial shot, okay, that was fine, but we turned our backs and we did not follow the shot where they did. And the second one, it was miscommunication on who was going to take the point and be the pressure on the ball.
Whitsitt just too strong on the touch.
So address those issues first in terms of defensive, because knowing that you can't have defensive lapses. There are going to be games that you will not be able to score for whatever reason. You would hope not, but in this case, you've not been able to put it in the back of the net. So how do you correct the other things? Just make sure that the other team does not score. So you have to play a sound game defensively.
To put this in perspective, Kings Hammer have been outscored 21-3 in matches this year. Indy 11 had outscored their foes 17-1. Well, tonight that team that was minus 18 in the goal differential is plus 2 tonight, leading Indy 2-0 in the 90th minute. Slimick couldn't get there. Chatterton, one touch, second touch. Slimick couldn't get it off her boot. Matsuhisa. There was a sea of defenders there waiting on Rogers or Chatterton once it got through.
Exactly. That should have been a one-touch ball by Chatterton. It was just under her foot. They had 8 players in the box.
White, the foul. The tap on the back of Grace Barr saying, my fault.
Yeah, she needs to put this ball on frame. Put it on frame, make the goalkeeper make a save. I haven't seen her touch the crossbar.
Looking back post, and he couldn't get there in time. 3 minutes of added time, just 3 minutes. Somehow Indy's got to find a way to score 2. On the build, played across Miller, couldn't get there. But Indy didn't have anybody waiting that could get it on their boot to direct it the opposite way. Rogers. Barr. Watson. Watson has a hit. And Watson up and over the bar.
Yep, looking to shoot, which is always a plus, but you have to make sure you put it on frame or give yourself, an opportunity at least if the goalkeeper makes it save, that somebody could be there.
Ball played back, has to be played with the feet first. Edwards takes care of that. 60 seconds in, 120 seconds to go. Indy needs not 1, but 2. Chatterton. Hirschfeld. Kugler lifts it. Matsuhisa. That was off the head of a St. Charles player. Tap in follow-up one there for Indy. And I said this once before, and that is not to take anything away from St. Charles. Let's get the feeling it's not Indy's night.
Exactly.
That nothing in terms of in and around the 6 to the 18 is going their way this evening.
No. And sometimes when you have those opportunities and they've hit every spot possible, every other player, deflected off of a player. Keeper's able to get get a mitt on the ball there. It just hasn't been our night. Exactly.
So quick substitution here. For the visitors, Emma Seltzer will come on in the closing minutes. Handball against Indy. Yep, that was off an extended arm. Something that has not happened since the Indy 11 took to the field last May 6th. Not only losing a match at home, but losing a match, period. At least in regular season play. It has not happened until tonight. Well, that streak will come to an end. And that'll be a foul. That'll be on White as Barr got sent flying. And not certainly intentional, but violent contact will draw the ire of the official.
Exactly, and that is warranted as a card because of what happened. It's a head-to-head contact there, and she wasn't going to win that ball.
So Barr will be checked on. I would assume the trainer's going to be waved on here. But really what this will do is once Grace is able to hopefully get up, this match will likely come to its conclusion. With Indy on the wrong side of the ledger. Against Indy and Racing Louisville will be level on points, level on games played. Again, the head-to-head tiebreaker comes first, and that is in favor of the Indy 11, but that margin of error just got erased for Indy. Let's hope that Grace is okay, because obviously she is in a good deal of pain.
Exactly. You always have to, take precaution with any injury, but especially with a head injury. So, hoping for the best for her, that it's, not anything significant.
Grace played her collegiate soccer at both Wisconsin and Xavier. Grace was first team All-Big East in 2019. She went to camp with Racing Louisville back in 2021 in her second year with the club. Some fans understandably starting to make their way towards the exits at this point. Because of our late start tonight to the broadcast, we will exit pretty quickly ourselves at the conclusion of this one. You see Grace back up.
Yeah, she's doesn't appear to be a head injury, so which is nice. Perhaps she's holding her arm a little bit.
Yeah, I worry about that
gingerly.
shoulder. Yep.
Exactly the way she ended up falling. So obviously that's the issue there. Well, soccer's a contact sport.
Yep. So obviously we have gone 2 minutes past the allotted stoppage time. Maybe a couple of touches at most is all that's left in this one. Barr will be allowed to stay on, even if she is of the one wing variety at this point. But just as we watch the action, we will look towards our match referee. Already one glance, the wristwatch. The next one may be it. Matsuhisa. Ball chased towards the corner flag. Throw in coming for the Indy 11. Chatterton will relaunch. Maybe there's a hit and a hope for one goal. I don't think there's time for two. And that effort probably about seals the deal.
Probably have one last, goal kick here. It'll probably be very close to, as he continues to look at his watch.
Usually the second look is the last one.
Exactly.
We play on. Credit Barr, she's out there hustling.
Yep, holding her one arm in.
Chatterton. Rogers. And Indy back in action. It's King's Hammer on Sunday afternoon. 2 o'clock is kickoff time at our covered start time on 11sports.com and the ISC Sports Network. Can Slimmick get there? Lifts it up and over the keeper. There's one for Indy, but guess what? Flag goes up again. And that's probably a fitting way to end this one.
Exactly, and that might be offsides number 6 or 7 on the night.
Whitsitt. Whitsitt trying to make the turn. Hirschfeld. That took a deflection. That's listed as a goal kick.
Frustration amounts when things like this happen, and then the players want to yell at the ref or the AR, and it's move on. They're not going to change their mind or anything like that. You just move on and play a little faster.
And that's that. Well, all the credit goes to St. Charles. They had not won a match this season, and they just knocked off a team that had been unbeaten over 2 years. 2-0, the visitors claim all 3 points tonight, and the race is back on for the Valley Division Championship. Angela, your final thoughts on this one?
Final thoughts? Well, you're going to learn a lot from this game. You're going to learn how to play better defense, and you're going to learn how to put away your opportunities. What could they have done better in that final third? You create chances, but you have to put them away. If this is the playoffs, you are out. You're done. In every game that you're playing here within your division. You're trying to win your division title, but you have to make the most out of those. And, playing on a home, your home turf, you anticipate having at least, the opportunity to get a goal. So, great learning experience, and let's see how they bounce back on Sunday.
To be blunt, one more loss or one more draw means you might not be playing in those playoffs now with 3 matches left to play for the Indy 11. This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League. Tonight's game on the ISC Sports Network at 11 Sports, presented in part by Community Health Sports Medicine, exceptional care simply delivered, and by Alpha Health and Wellness, the official team chiropractor for the Indy 11 W League. For Angela Barry White, this is Greg Regstrom. Good night from Grand Park. St. Charles pulls the monumental upset. They beat Indy 11 2-0. Both goals in half number 2. Thanks for joining us for Indy 11 Women's Soccer here on the ISC Sports Network.
For over a century, Indiana has been the destination for sports innovation and the state where champions are crowned. Now, we're entering a new era with Sports Tech HQ, a place that inspires innovation and invests in entrepreneurs who are changing the game, one startup at a time. Welcome to the crossroads of sports and technology. Sports Tech HQ, home of the game changers.
Hi there, I'm Jake Query.
And I'm Derek Schultz.
And we do Query and Schultz on ISC Sports Network. And Derek, unlike Ted Lasso, we have a 3rd season.
That's right. Season number 3 right now, ISCSportsNetwork.com. You can see episodes on Comcast 81 as well, Mondays at 7:30. I'm talking about our show, Jake, this beloved show that people tune into every single week. Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, so many ways to watch Query and Schultz every Monday, 7:30. Tune in and hang out with us.
And you don't have to be a goldfish. You'll remember everything we say.
I'm a happy-go-lucky guy, but sometimes I get a little stressed because I'm not for sure what's going to happen down the road. I was at the cancer unit, and when I come out from seeing the doctor, I said something about needing some help with all the paperwork. They gave me a name and a phone number. Her name is Molly. She works over at Community. She tells me, stop worrying, let me take care of it. She is my angel.
Stand by me. And the winner of the Indianapolis 500.
Indiana, winning is in our DNA. And we're winning the future with $22 billion in new business investment, building an economy of the future with unprecedented momentum. Indiana, for the winners.